Hey, what's up, guys? This is David Chase Taylor of 911truther.org. Today is August 1st, 2024. So based on breaking news and events, it appears that CIA headquarters located beneath CERN at Lake Geneva in Switzerland is going to stage a silent coup, if you will, resulting in the presidency of one Kamala Harris by the date of August 22nd, 2024, which is the last day of the Democratic National Committee Convention in Chicago, Illinois, which starts on August 19th and concludes on August 22nd. So in short, this is basically a silent coup to basically negate the democratic process by which delegates around the nation vote for the Democratic candidate of their choice. And this is specifically why one Kamala Harris has not held a press conference since Joe Biden has been forced out of the 2024 presidential race on July 21st, 2024. So basically we're going on, this is the 11th day which Kamala Harris has yet to hold a press conference because she's waiting, the CIA is waiting until they neutralize Biden and Kamala becomes president when she will give her first press conference. Because the delegates in the Democratic Party are split, because in the 2020 presidential primary, Democratic primary, Kamala Harris polled at 2% and was lambasted by Tulsi Gabbard during the debate, and so she has very little traction in her own party. But because she is a DEI candidate, and because the CIA wants to pit a black woman, Indian allegedly, against a white male in Trump, they are going to force this Democratic ticket through, irregardless of the delegates which would like to vote for Gavin Newsom or Michelle Obama. So, in short, it's 100% certain that one Kamala Devi Harris will become the 47th President of the United States by the date of August 22nd, 2024. Consequently, it's highly, highly likely that the Democratic National Committee Convention in Chicago will be canceled in the wake of a Joe Biden dissolution of presidency event. I just made an entire video about that. You can go check it out. But in short, Joe Biden will be assassinated. Joe Biden will die. Joe Biden will resign. Joe Biden will have the 25th Amendment invoked. Joe Biden will suffer a medical emergency. Joe Biden will suffer a terror attack. And Joe Biden will resign under the guise of doctor's orders by the date of August 22nd, the final day of the Democratic National Committee Convention. So the question is, why now? What is the CIA up to? What are they trying to accomplish by forcing Kamala Harris into the office of presidency by the date of August 22nd? Because in short, as Tom Hanks' son, Chet Hanks' song is called White Boy Summer, because the CIA is planning on staging a civil war in the United States over the right to keep and bear arms. Basically, Kamala Harris's job is to revoke the Second Amendment and basically trigger a civil war in the United States over the right to keep and bear arms. And this is all slated to transpire in the month of August by the date of August 22nd. And that is precisely why there is a film in the theaters right now. It was number one. I'm not sure what its current standing is. It's called Civil War. And in this film, there is an attack on the presidency. Because once Kamala Harris becomes president, then they're planning to stage a civil war in the United States over the right to keep and bear arms, the Second Amendment, after Kamala Harris gets in and basically issues one executive order after another against the Second Amendment, likely resulting in mass gun registration, mass gun confiscation, bans on ammunition, and possibly DHS, Department of Homeland Security checkpoints across the United States to check for so-called assault weapons. If you're not privy to it, earlier, a couple years ago, a bill was introduced in the House, which it passed. It's called H.R. 1808, and this basically bans assault weapons in the United States. It's waiting Senate approval. So the CIA is going to be staging mass shootings leading up to the DNC convention in Chicago on August 22nd, specifically to trigger the passage of this bill or to spawn basically executive orders by one Kamala Harris once she gets into office. So just a real quick history lesson. Back on September 21st of 2023, the Biden administration formed what is called the White House Office of Gun Violence Prevention, or WHGVP. And so this is the and Kamala Harris was charged with leading this. So this is foreshadowing that she's going to be the anti-gun candidate. This is why they want a DEI female in there, and then she's going to say enough is enough, all our children are dying, and we need to ban guns, and then this is going to spark a civil war in the United States. And this notion was foreshadowed back on September 8th of 2023 when New Mexico Governor Michelle Grisham instituted a draconian gun ban in New Mexico, which has since been rescinded. And the notion the Biden administration is secretly plotting to trigger a civil war in the United States over the right to keep and bear arms was foreshadowed back on August 30th of 2022 when Biden stated that he is quote-unquote determined to ban assault weapons. A few months prior, on May 28th of 2022, Kamala Harris stated, "Let's have an assault weapons ban." And then she went on to say that assault weapons, quote unquote, have no place in civil society. And the word civil was not a mistake because it's foreshadowing that there's going to be a civil war in the United States over the right to keep and bear arms once Kamala Harris passes draconian executive orders doing exactly that. And it's imperative to note who's behind Kamala Harris and this impending civil war in the United States. In short, this program to basically stage a civil war in the United States in the aftermath of gun bans following the dovetailing off of mass shootings was spawned back on October 31st of 2009 when one Barack Hussein Obama and one Eric Holder, the former U.S. Attorney General under the Clinton administration, began to execute what is called Operation Fast and Furious. This is specifically why they assassinated Fast and Furious actor Paul Walker in a drone strike, is because in the aftermath of banning assault weapons in the United States, the CIA is going to greenlight their Terminator drone program, which is basically to unleash a bunch of predator drones over the United States to blow up people under the guise that they're possessing or committing attacks with assault rifles. And this notion is corroborated by the fact that on June 20th of 2012, Obama asserted what is called executive privilege, and he refused to testify about this Operation Fast and Furious, which is basically a gun-running operation, where they're basically funneling guns into the United States to basically, that's the cover, is that these guns are allegedly going to Mexico and to cartels and everything, but that's actually the cover program or the cover name for this program. And that's why we've seen a continuous rise in mass shootings. Over July 4th, there was something like 109 shootings in Chicago, and that's because Chicago is home to the Israeli National Police. Believe it or not, the city of Chicago, which is historically possibly the most corrupt city in the United States, they have a partnership with the Israeli National Police, who have been murdering most likely with Uzis out of bulletproof SUVs, murdering the youth of America in Chicago and elsewhere across the United States, specifically to spark the civil war. And so in the event that the CIA replaces Biden with Harris, we're going to see a spike, and they're going to blame it on Trump supporters. So basically, the Israeli National Police are going to go out and just mow down hundreds, if not thousands, of African Americans, minorities, doesn't matter what type, and then they're going to say that these were Trump supporters or Second Amendment supporters that are angry about these bans. So that's what's going to happen, and this is designed because the CIA has been exposed, their headquarters have been exposed in Geneva, Switzerland, so they're trying to balkanize the United States to break it up. And so after Kamala Harris issues these draconian gun bans and gun confiscation orders, then we're going to start seeing various states of the United States seceding from the Union of the United States, most likely starting with Texas, Florida, Arizona, and New Mexico. And in order to foreshadow this, one Bill O'Reilly, formerly of Fox News, has been stating on his No Spin News for the last few weeks that the DNC convention in Chicago between August 19th and August 22nd is going to be violent. And that is because they're getting ready to start this civil war, white boy summer, if you will. And that's why they picked Chicago. I mean, they could have picked anywhere else. Actually, they originally picked New York City, but have since moved it to Chicago because they plan to execute basically Operation Fast and Furious across the United States prior to this convention, where Kamala Harris will likely, basically what's going to happen is if they can't put Kamala in, then you're going to have a number of these Democratic delegates that are going to probably opt for a different option, because August 22nd is the last date where the DNC can pull a switcheroo. They can pull Kamala out and put somebody else in. And so that's why this time frame between August 1st today and August 22nd, these next 3 weeks, as I mentioned in my earlier video about Biden, is that this is seriously like possibly the most hypercritical time in American history, because everything is hanging in the balance, and it all depends on if they are able to get Kamala in there to spark a civil war in the United States, which is going to get really ugly really fast. And it's imperative to note that the Zionist establishment that is behind one Kamala Harris, she's married to a Jewish man. She's probably going to pick a Jewish vice president. And so they are absolutely foaming at the mouth to try to get this world war started, which is, like I mentioned earlier, exactly why they made this movie, Civil War, which is in theaters now, is because that's what they're planning to do. Just like before 9/11, they were flying planes into towers in television and movies, and they're plan on, and so now they're showing the movie Civil War in theaters because that's what's planned. So just to recap, it is 100% certain that one Kamala Debbie Harris will become the 47th President of the United States by the date of August 22nd, 2024, which is the final day of the DNC convention in Chicago, Illinois. So in the event that reality comes to fruition in reality, that Kamala Harris becomes our 47th president, I kindly ask that you download this video and share it with local, state, and federal military intelligence officials and law enforcement officials, as well as with local, national, and international media outlets. Praying for peaceful next 3 weeks. Peace.